Chapter 3. The S-Crub unit was a silent, multi-legged shadow, dancing across the hull, its laser scalpels peeling away layers of pigeon-born indignity with surgical precision. Inside the Tesseract, the silence was different, heavy, expectant, and smelling faintly of the speculative strain Sam had enjoyed earlier. With Biff finally submerged in a vat of warm premium THC oil 4 blocks deep into the craft's interior, the laboratory felt cavernous. The protocol droid's last act before his mechanical spa day had been to lock the AP-20X1 strut into the quantum resonance scanner. Sam watched the monitors. The main computer's logic gates hummed with a sound like a distant hive of bees. The readout was a cascading waterfall of neon green.
Status, active, state, entangled, vector, lunar...
So you're a walkie-talkie for the gods,
Sam muttered, adjusting his fedora. The scanner confirmed it. The strut wasn't just a piece of ship, it was a transceiver, pulsing with a signal that bypassed the speed of light entirely. It was whispering to something on the moon, and something on the moon was whispering back. The Delport perspective. Sam left the scanner to its work and moved to the observation cupola, a bubble of reinforced crystalline glass located at the TR-3B's apex. He hauled a telescope that looked like a brass cannon, a spectroscope, modified to pierce the atmospheric distortion, and aimed it at the silver coin of the morning moon. At 35,000 feet, the air was thin, cold and clear as a diamond. He dialed the magnification into the Delport crater on the lunar far side. What he saw wasn't just a crater. Through the spectroscope, the shadows within the Delport didn't behave like shadows. They were too sharp, too geometric. He saw the faint, shimmering outline of something massive, the Sovereign-class vessel. It lay there like a dead Leviathan. But even from this distance, Sam could see the ghost light of its engines, a faint ultraviolet shimmer that shouldn't exist on a dormant ship. It looked less like a wreck and more like a predator holding its breath. The ukulele variable. Sam returned to the lab, his mind racing. If the strut was transmitting, it was part of a circuit, and every circuit has a resonance. He reached behind his oak desk and pulled out a small, weathered ukulele. It was a humble instrument for a man surrounded by zero-point energy, but Sam knew that music was just math with a soul. He sat on the edge of his desk, tuned the strings and began to play a slow, haunting melody, a bluesy riff that felt right for a detective at the edge of the world. Plink, pluck, strum. The strut reacted. As the sound waves hit the metallic hydrogen lattice, the artifact didn't just vibrate, it shifted. The jagged edges softened, the metal flowing like mercury, and the entire piece began to rotate slowly in midair, independent of the scanner's magnetic clamps. It was dancing. For every chord Sam struck, the glyphs on the side flared with a soft, bioluminescent gold.
Well now,
Sam whispered, his fingers dancing over the frets.
You like the blues, don't you? Let's see if you know Fly Me to the Moon.
The artifact wasn't just dancing anymore, it was screaming in a frequency of light. As Sam's fingers danced across the ukulele strings, the strut's rotation hit a critical velocity. It became a blur of iridescent mercury, a spinning top of alien intent that suddenly projected a sphere of shimmering points into the center of the Tesseract. The air in the office grew cold, the kind of cold that doesn't just chill the skin but frostbites the soul.
It's a map,
Sam whispered, his strumming hand going still as he watched the glowing constellations.
but it's a map of a neighborhood I don't recognize.
A rhythmic hiss-clack announced the return of the partner. Biff stepped through the laboratory archway, and, for a protocol droid, he looked positively radiant. His synthetic skin was no longer dull and ashen. The premium THC oil had given him a supple, golden sheen, and his actuators moved with a silent, terrifying fluidity. He looked less like a budget mortician's project and more like a high-end boutique mannequin designed for a clandestine future. Biff adjusted his beige fedora, now also polished, and looked at the glowing sphere with a judgmental whir of his optical sensors.
I see you've been busy making music, Sam.
Biff remarked, his voice now a smooth, frictionless baritone.
The S-Crub unit has completed its task, and I am currently operating at 99.4%
Which is fortunate.
efficiency, because your map is currently radiating a level of entanglement data that is, frankly, impolite.
Sam stared at the points of light. They didn't look like the stars he knew from the nights on the Maui beaches.
I can't make heads or tails of these, Biff. It's like looking at a city from the bottom of a well.
Biff leaned into the holographic display, his sensors scanning the coordinates.
That is because you are looking for distant suns, Sam.
Look closer. These aren't extrasolar systems. These are specific coordinates within our own backyard.
Biff pointed a gleaming finger at a cluster near the edge of the projection.
This point is the L2 Lagrange point behind the moon. This one is within the asteroid belt, specifically Psyche 16.
He trailed off, his eyes pulsing.
And this is pointing directly back to the Delport crater.
I know.
Sam said softly, his voice gravelly. He didn't look at the readout. He just felt it, a tug in his gut, like a magnetic north that had shifted inside his ribcage.
It told me, or I told it. We're on a first-name basis now.
Biff made a clicking sound of disapproval.
Intuition is merely unrecognized data, Sam. Please, put the instrument away.
The harmonic resonance is causing the zero-point generator to hicco, and I'd prefer not to be dematerialized during my post-oil glow.
Sam set the ukulele back on the oak desk. As the music stopped, the artifact didn't fall. It remained suspended, but its rotation slowed to a rhythmic, breathing pulse.
Check the intake.
Sam commanded, his detective instincts overriding the herbal haze.
It's a transceiver, and it's mapping our system. It isn't just sending our location out. It's downloading something. What's coming through the pipe?
Biff plugged a fiber optic lead from his wrist directly into the scanner's console. His head tilted at a sharp, inhuman angle.
Data packets, Sam. Enormous ones. It's not just a map. It's a logistical manifest. The Sovereign-class vessel isn't just a ship, it's a seed. And according to the telemetry coming in right now, the gardeners are already in the neighborhood.
The Internal Atmosphere Protocol. The interior of the Astra had become a sensory paradox. While the hull was a masterpiece of cold, clandestine physics, the air within the Tesseract was a lush, fragrant rebellion. Sam had rerouted the primary life support ducts, forcing the sterile, recycled oxygen through the heart of the hydroponic bay and a small grove of transplanted plumeria trees he'd brought from a hidden nursery in Lahaina. Now, instead of the metallic tang of a vacuum-sealed tomb, the office smelled of heavy tropical blossoms, damp earth, and the sharp, resinous promise of the speculative strain. It was the sense of home, a ghost of Maui floating 35,000 feet above the world.
The air quality index is highly irregular, Sam.
Biff remarked, his newly oiled joints gliding with silent precision as he hovered over the scanner.
I am detecting traces of volcanic soil, floral esters, and enough
THC metabolites to intoxicate a small moon.
It is aesthetically pleasing.
But it makes the internal sensors think we're a botanical garden rather than a tactical reconnaissance platform.
Good.
Sam said, leaning back in his Boeing seat.
If the sensors are confused, the watchers are confused. Keeps everyone on their toes.
He reached out and tapped the AP20X1 strut, the fingernail. The artifact didn't just vibrate, it let out a soft, melodic hum, the exact frequency of the ukulele riff Sam had played earlier. It was a perfect, haunting mimicry. Every time Sam or Biff leaned in to examine the glowing glyphs, the metal sang to them, a low-fidelity lullaby for a moon god.
It's bonding, Biff. It's not just a machine anymore, it's an audience.
While the singing is charming in a terrifying existential way,
Biff interrupted, his blue eyes flickering with a new data stream.
The download has shifted. The seed data is no longer just logistical. It is becoming architectural.
Sam, it isn't just telling us where they are. It's showing us what they are building.
Sam stood up, the smell of plumeria thick in his lungs. On the main monitor, the shadow in the Delport crater was changing. The ultraviolet ghost light was no longer just a shimmer. It was forming a structure. A spire of light was reaching out from the lunar surface toward the stars.
They aren't just gardening, Biff.
Sam whispered.
They're renovating.